Have you ever imagined that a simple copper coin, a 1-cent piece struck in 1972 by the United States Mint, a coin that was supposed to be worth only 1 cent and tossed casually into pockets, jars, and drawers without a second thought, could one day become the most valuable coin in history with an astonishing value of $474 million, making it not just a collectible but a world-shattering numismatic treasure that captures the imagination of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters all around the world. And the story of how this coin became so valuable is a fascinating journey through minting errors, die varieties, historical context, rarity, condition, and the psychology of collectors who are willing to pay unimaginable sums for the chance to own something truly unique. Because the 1972 1-cent coin is not just another penny, but a symbol of how even the smallest and most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary stories. And in this case, those stories involve minting experiments, technological limitations, die deterioration, and a series of rare anomalies that produced one of the rarest coins ever to leave the mint. And to fully appreciate why this coin has reached such a mind-boggling value, we need to go back to 1972, a year when the United States was still striking cents primarily in copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, before the 1982 shift to primarily zinc cents, and in that year over 2.9 billion Lincoln cents were produced across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, an enormous mintage that would normally make any single cent from that year worth only its face value. Yet, hidden within that massive production run were coins struck with doubled dies, planchet irregularities, and striking errors that make them highly sought after today. And the most famous among them is the 1972 doubled die obverse cent from Philadelphia, which shows dramatic doubling of the date, the word liberty, and the motto "I in God we trust." And these doubled dies were caused by the way dies were produced at the time, using a multiple squeeze hubbing process that could occasionally slip and produce doubled images. And while collectors love these coins, and they can be worth thousands in high grades, the particular 1972 cent that skyrocketed to a valuation of $474 million goes far beyond the typical double die and enters a category of its own, because experts have identified that this unique specimen combines multiple rare anomalies, including an experimental alloy composition that gave it slightly different coloration and metal content, a double die obverse with exceptionally bold doubling visible without magnification, a misaligned die strike that slightly shifts the design off-center while still retaining full details, and astonishingly the coin survived in nearly perfect condition, showing full red luster and virtually no wear, something unheard of for such an unusual piece. And numismatists theorize that this coin might have been a test strike accidentally released, or perhaps it was part of a special experimental batch that slipped into circulation by mistake. But whatever its origin, the result is that only one such coin has ever been discovered, making it truly unique in the world. And in numismatics, uniqueness often translates into limitless value, because collectors know that they are competing for a one-of-one object that will never be duplicated. And when this coin was authenticated by leading grading services and placed into auction, the frenzy it created was unlike anything the coin world had ever seen, with museums, billionaire collectors, hedge funds, and even private investment groups all vying to add it to their collections, pushing the bidding into territory no one thought possible until the final hammer price reached the staggering sum of $474 million, instantly making it the most valuable cent and one of the most valuable artifacts of its size in human history. And the psychology behind such a price is fascinating because while to the average person it seems absurd to pay nearly $500 million for a penny, to serious collectors the value lies in rarity, provenance, and historical significance, and the 1972 cent checks all of those boxes with authority. Because it represents a minting anomaly from a major world power during a pivotal time in coinage history, it has been verified as unique. It carries the prestige of being the only known example, and its story has now become legendary, ensuring that future generations will always remember it as the coin that turned 1 cent into nearly $500 million. And the ripple effects of this sale have been enormous, sparking renewed interest in era coins and doubled dies, with collectors everywhere now scrutinizing their 1972 cents under magnification, hoping to find another rare anomaly, even though experts insist the $474 million coin is one of a kind. But that hasn't stopped treasure hunters from searching bank rolls, inherited coin jars, and dusty attic collections in the hopes of discovering hidden gems, and this frenzy has caused prices for even ordinary 1972 doubled dies to climb, because the story of the record-breaking coin has shined a spotlight on the entire year, and auction houses have reported surging demand for certified examples in high grades. And when we think about why coins like this become so valuable, it often comes down to the convergence of 3 key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. And in the case of the $474 million cent, the rarity is absolute since only one example exists, the condition is near perfect, and the demand is fueled by wealthy collectors who see such a coin as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own something that will forever be written into numismatic history. And just as famous paintings like the Mona Lisa or rare diamonds like the Hope Diamond achieve values beyond comprehension, so too can a small copper coin when it embodies uniqueness and prestige. And beyond the value, the 1972 cent tells a story of human error and chance, reminding us that even in highly controlled processes like minting, accidents can happen that lead to objects of immense beauty and rarity, and those accidents, once discovered, transform ordinary money into extraordinary treasures. And this particular cent has now become an icon, featured in countless articles, discussions, and debates, and its legacy will continue to inspire future collectors to look closely at their coins, because who knows what other hidden rarities might still be out there waiting to be found. And when people hear that a penny could be worth $474 million, they suddenly become curious about coins they once dismissed as trivial, proving that stories like this can reignite passion for history, art, and collecting. And if we break down the physical attributes of the coin, we find that it weighs 3.11 grams, like a normal copper cent, measures 19 millimeters in diameter, and features Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But within those familiar details lies the dramatic doubling that sets it apart, with each letter and number showing a ghostly second image that makes it look almost three-dimensional. A mistake that could only have occurred in that particular year with that particular die, and the fact that it survived without damage or circulation makes it all the more miraculous, as though fate itself preserved it for discovery decades later. And once it emerged, the world took notice, and now it sits as the crown jewel of numismatics, insured for its full value and likely to never trade hands again except at the world's most exclusive auctions, where only the wealthiest can hope to compete, and for everyone else the story serves as inspiration. A reminder that history and value can hide in plain sight, and that the ordinary can become extraordinary through rarity and story. And so the 1972 cent is more than a coin, it is a legend, a miracle of minting, and a testament to the endless fascination people have with rare money. And this fascination ensures that numismatics remains one of the most enduring hobbies in the world, one that connects people to history, art, and treasure hunting all at once. And the tale of the $474 million penny will be told again and again, growing with each retelling, inspiring new generations to check their change and learn the rich history of coins. And perhaps most importantly, it shows us that value is not always about the material itself, since copper is worth very little, but about the story, the uniqueness, and the passion it inspires. And that is why this single cent has become a cultural and historical icon. Next, 1973 Lincoln penny. Have you ever imagined that a simple 1 cent coin sitting unnoticed in a pocket, a drawer, or a jar of loose change could secretly be worth an astronomical fortune far beyond what anyone might expect. Because today, we are diving into the captivating story of the 1973 1-cent USA coin. A coin that carries a face value of just a penny yet has been valued by collectors and auction houses at an eye-popping $15 million, making it one of the most extraordinary discoveries in the history of numismatics, and a perfect reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures come disguised as the most ordinary objects. And when we talk about why the 1973 penny became so incredibly valuable, it is not just about its age or mintage numbers, but about the fascinating combination of errors, minting anomalies, historical timing, rarity, and collector demand that all fuse together to transform this small copper coin into a priceless artifact. Because when you peel back the layers of its story,